Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Elemental Storm here, and we're looking at the top 5 reasons to play Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles X is kind of part of the whole Xenoblade, Xenogears series and stuff like that, although kind of not. They never really interconnected with each other and stuff like that. They're kind of their own games, per se. It's almost kind of like how Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy, but each one is its own separate thing. So they kind of do it like that and stuff. Now, this is made by Monolith Soft and Nintendo, and it's a fantastic game. And I'm going to get into the top 5 reasons why I say it's fantastic. So here we go. So number 1, we're going to start right off the bat with exploration. Now, the exploration is really, really good. There's just so many things to do and see, and it's just the world itself. Now, being on the Wii U, a lot of people didn't think that they'd be able to pull this off, per se, but the graphics actually are pretty damn good for a Wii U game. They're really pushing the envelope, I think, on the Wii U and the technology and stuff. And it just goes to show that stuff like this can definitely happen on this machine. And I think they could even do more, with other games and stuff like that. Like, I'm hoping for that Zelda open world game will be very similar in terms of, like, how big this game is. This game has, like, 5 continents to go run around and whatnot, and they're all different looking, they're all different styled and stuff like that, and they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And the exploration in this game is amazing, and especially once you get your Skell and you can start flying around and things like that. That's like the best part, because you can just see, like, you can start going up vertical and start seeing all the top areas and stuff like that. And just, yeah, they did an amazing job with the exploration and stuff. And just being able to, like, get out there and just run around. I mean, sometimes it's not even doing quests, just running around, maybe doing a little grinding or picking up stuff and things like that. It's just all worth it and stuff. As you can see here, like, these waterfalls and things, just, absolutely amazing. All right, so let's go into number 2. Now, number 2 is combat. So combat's a lot of fun because it's designed like an MMO. Though this game's not an MMO, it does have multiplayer, but it's more like you meet up in a hub, you go out, you fight some monsters, you come back. That type of multiplayer style. Kind of like Sword Art Online and Token-In and things like that and stuff. It's got that kind of setup. But beyond that, it's registered very well. Now, the combat's cool because it's like skills and whatnot. Then you have your party, your team members with you, and they'll yell out certain commands like, oh, let's go melee now, and blah, blah, blah. And you'll see your combat flash, like maybe your sword skill will flash. And you hit it, and you'll get like critical hits and things like that. So it's really well done. I think they did a good job. And coming from MMO background, from like World of Warcraft, stuff like that, where you would just continuously hit the same buttons, it's like you get used to it, and it works. Some people don't like it because they just want to get in there and, like, mash buttons and whatnot and stuff like that. But this is more of like you got to kind of keep an eye on your skills, see which ones flash, or see which ones are going to work the best at this point when you're fighting and stuff. So it's a give or take for some people. I personally like it because, again, I have an MMO background, so I know that style of combat. I know that style as it is, and it's pretty good. I like the teamwork situation too, when you're like working with someone and they say, "Hey, go melee," and then you could do that. So that is number 2. Let's go into number 3, and of course we got to go with the Skells. Now, the Skells, also known as mechs or gears or whatever you want to call them and stuff, they pretty much are just awesome. The size ratio is really cool when you start getting in one and you like kind of fly around the cities and stuff like that, or you even see some of the little monsters and how big it is compared. Not to mention, once later on when you get your flight and stuff like that, it's also really cool because then you can start like flying around the world like we're doing right here, and you can start checking out a lot more areas that you never could get to before. Plus, it being a bigger thing, jumping around is a great feature. And all those little diamonds that you saw me running around and picking up, those are kind of like almost like little items or stuff you would pick up instead of like in an MMO how you would like run to a tree and you start like chopping at it. These little diamonds are kind of like encased little like items and things like that. So when you have the mech or the Skell or the gear and you run around, it like they automatically just go ding 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 and just fly into you because you're so big. So it's a great situation if you want to run around and kind of grind out and get like items that you need for your encyclopedia thing, or if you need them for quests and stuff like that. It's definitely cool. Plus, like I said, just the idea of being able to like fly around, survey the area, and then the bigger fights too. You can take the Skulls against some really big creatures. And it's really fun. It's just a lot of fun. And of course, they have the same combat features as you do when you're on the ground, depending on what type of weapons you put on your Skell. And there's so many different types of weapons and things like that. But we'll get into that. And so let's now go to number 4. one of my personal favorites, the monsters. Now, the monsters, the creatures, the aliens in this game are just awesome. They got some really cool designs. You got different types from, like, you know, regular animals to things that look like horses to, like, giant bugs to even mech, like, annoyed things like, you know, like this. Like, there was one thing I found, it's actually pretty funny. I was, like, running around in the water, and there was this big mechanoid beast thing, but it didn't move at all. It just sat there, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is just like part of the architecture. It looks great. Let's go check it out. And there was all those little diamond things around and stuff like that. So I went down, and I went to swim next to it, and all of a sudden it came alive and killed me because it was like a level 60. So it's just really cool knowing that there's all these different types of creatures and aliens and robots and all kinds of cool things like that. It definitely works well. The other cool thing about it, too, is the monsters in the world are kind of set up that, like, there's not areas that are like, oh, here's level 2s and 3s, here's level 4s and 5s, here's levels this. It's more like everything's just kind of mixed in, which isn't bad because not everything will attack or kill you. Depending on the daytime or nighttime, some things will attack, some things won't, and things of that nature. So it's definitely cool in that regards. All right, and let's get into number 5. We're going to finish it off with the gear in this game. Now, the gear is really cool. You got all these different types. You start off by picking your class and stuff like that, which we're getting into right here. As you can see, you've got the Striker, the Commando, the Enforcer, and that will kind of determine your path along that you want to do for a class and stuff. It also determines on your, like, right now, which is really cool, is I got my duelist all the way up to 10. Now I can take my my two-handed sword, and I can take my rifle, and I can bring that into any other class now that I specialize. So once you specialize in a class, or you basically fill it all up and level it all up to the level 10, you could take that into another class and bring those weapons with you, which is really cool. So I'm working for Galactic Knight in the end, which is supposed to be like kind of like a space paladin type deal, so yeah. But anyway, this is oh, and also we can just take a real quick look, so you can see like some of the cool like gear, some of the outfits and stuff like that. And then not to mention when this is like basically just stuff that you can get, and on top of it, it has that MMO situation where you can actually do kind of a fashion thing. So if there's like a certain like look that you like, but you don't want to use your stats, you can do that. So you can have your character always look the same if you want. If you find this like really cool suit, or you find a really cool armor, and you're like, oh, I don't want to lose that look, I love that look, then you can do that, which is really cool. And the Skells, of course, have like all these different weapons, and then you have the different types and stuff that you can pick up and things like that. So there's a lot of cool gear in this game. So this is top 5 reasons to play Xenoblade Chronicles X. Again, I highly advise it. If you have a Wii U, if you haven't checked this out yet, definitely check it out. Hopefully Nintendo doesn't hit me on YouTube with this one, but I think it should be okay. It's just a top 5, not really showing off tons of stuff. But who knows on that end. But anyway, I definitely want to get this out there because I think I just got a Wii U, like I said, in January and stuff like that, and I've been really enjoying this game. I'm looking very much forward next to Zelda, Twilight Princess on HD, but for now, which is going to be on the Twitch channel, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, exactly. But right now, I am loving this game, playing through the storyline, doing the stuff. Once I get my Skell, it's like it takes about it's almost 32 hours before you get your first Skell, but it's really, really worth it in the end because once you get it, it's just that feeling of satisfaction and stuff. But either way, this is top 5 reasons to play. This is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Definitely check it out. It's Storm approved. And don't forget to come check me out, as you can see down the bottom here, over at Twitch, and hit up my Twitter and stuff like that to keep in touch with me and hear news about what's coming out next, things like that. I'll talk to you guys later. This is Elemental Storm. I'm out of here. I'm bald again, and huzzah!